live. We are live. We're going live to talk about WrestleMania. We are live. WrestleMania 42 is happening this weekend. And just like a lot of wrestling podcasts, we want to give our predictions and we want to talk about WrestleMania. It's in Las Vegas, like how it was last year.
Boo.
And we got a Bautista chant going on here. But it's WrestleMania season. Let's talk about it. This is the Big Pop 30 podcast. Hey, do us a favor if you don't mind. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification. And do us a favor too on the YouTube channel. We have some stuff going on the past few weeks since it was WrestleMania season. We decided to go into the vault of WrestleMania and review some throwback WrestleManias. And check them out and hit those likes, subscribe, and notifications, and comment and tell us what you think about them. Let's remove this fantastic graphic so you can see the hosts. You got 3 hosts here for the Big Pop 30 podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I identify as the Great Grand Slam Poobah. I'm joined by the Usiest Haitian, Jean Baptiste, and I'm joined with the smartest man in the room, the QB of the Big Pop 30 podcast, Rich King. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on another. This is the third. I'm gonna say this is our third WrestleMania review. I mean, not even a review, prediction show. So, gentlemen, how are you guys?
I'm doing great. I drink a lot of water. I went to the barber. I still have to pack my bag. Jesus Christ. I haven't done nothing yet. Nothing. Oh, Lord. I have a cruise tomorrow.
You know,
I'm doing great.
Not for nothing. I'm with you on that where I have not packed anything yet. We got this is why he's the smartest man in the room. He's already packed because he's already there. But Rich Kings, sir, take the floor.
I need to do the shopping.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Can't shopping?
Yes. Don't ask.
Wait, I don't know. Right, so yeah. So I'm doing well. Can't complain. I'm out here. Live your life.
Hey, too busy making that paper. Just live your life. I feel like I messed up the whole entire lyric, but that's
that. You definitely just described Rich King's life.
Too busy living his best life, so live your life.
Mm-hmm.
But gentlemen, we have 2 nights of WrestleMania, a total of, I want to make sure I got this right,
14,
12, 13. Yeah, it's like 13 because it's one night have 7 and one has 6. So I mean, I don't know about you guys if you saw the both nights, but night 2 fucking wipes the floor of night 1. Night 1 have some good things. I do believe that, but what do you gentlemen think about both nights?
I ain't gonna lie to you. This year's WrestleMania, it's not one of those larger than life WrestleMania days. Like I don't know. I'm not as amped up for it as I thought I would be. There's not really too many stories. Everything thrown together last minute. It doesn't feel like the show of shows, like the Super Bowl of the year, like it's supposed to on a regular basis. Am I looking forward to a few matches? Maybe 1 or 2, and that's out of the whole WrestleMania card, and that kind of speaks volumes. And I can't say it's because the matches are bad. I guess really there was no build to it, so there's nothing really keeping me interested in like, all right, I'm dying to see this.
What about you, Rich Kings?
I think I have a different take than Jean Baptiste. I think I'm a little bit more excited this year than last year because I think last year was just like some of the matches that was on the card just wasn't as interested to see. I'm excited for a few matches we're going to get into to review in a few moments. So I understand about the build take, but I do think that it's a different type of era going on right now. So I don't know too much if they do the builds as much as we used to, because I think that's something we grew up with. Because there's a long drag or a long build, and I don't think that's part of the cards anymore. So when we get into it, I'll tell you how excited I am about each match. But I hear what you're saying, but I do think that I think this is a better card than last year, transparently.
Thank you. Please leave. I'm kind of with you on because I do sit here and go like, I can't tell you that this is the best built WrestleMania probably isn't. But there is things where I look at the card and I go like, I'm excited about that. That match is going to be intriguing. I know a lot of people, and we'll get into it, but Gunther and Seth, there was no story. And I say, you know what? You're right. I can't even hold you. But I can't help but believe when those guys get in the ring, they're going to fucking kill it. Like, they're going to have a really good wrestling match. And I also am just happy that they had Gunther on the card because it was looking to a point where this is the same guy who retired 2 legends of Bill Goldberg. Like, you got to have this guy on the card. But let's talk about the before we talk about the card, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being in the chat. We see you, Crazy Joe. Shout out to Crazy Joe. He's another brother of ours. He's great. Let me tell you how great one Crazy Joe is. He does not watch wrestling. He's not the biggest wrestling fan, but he comes out here and support us, and we appreciate you, big brother. So thank you for being in the chat. We also got Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I missed you on Tuesday, man. Where were you? You didn't hear me. I was heartbroken that my girl lost to Lola Vice. You should have been there. I needed a shoulder to cry on, and you wasn't there. It's actually pretty heartbreaking. But he does says it doesn't feel like WrestleMania. And I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong on how you feel. I sit here and go, I still get when it's WrestleMania season, I don't know necessarily the word hype, but I still go like, man, it's WrestleMania because it's the Super Bowl for me. I don't watch football, so I know for people who are really they're excited about it and they have this, and I love that for them, and that's how I feel. Where I go like, man, I know that like I said, it's not the best build, but you know what? I think I'm still going to have a good time watching it. And I know last year, both me and Rich Kings, we were there for WrestleMania. And Rich Kings, I got to throw you underneath the bus here. I want you to know something, man. We went to NXT Stand and Deliver, and we missed 2 matches, but we made it in time to catch the JC Jane match, so I can't be too hard on you. But we made it on time for WrestleMania to see Gunther lose to Jey Uso. How dare you do that to me? What kind of friend are you?
Well, let's be clear. We got scammed.
We did.
So we thought we had some tickets, and then apparently these weren't real tickets from what was the site? StubHub or some shit like that. And I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
We had to buy tickets in the moment at the stadium, like the good old days.
Jesus.
But we were able to get in.
Like the good old days, like it's like the 1970s, back in our day. But Jeffrey's in the chat. He says, yeah, I was occupied with things to do, bro. That's cool. I'm just glad that you're here, man. I always appreciate you being here, Jeffrey. But JC could be coming up to me. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're thinking about saving that for the middle of the show about the potential call-ups. Because when WrestleMania season comes up, you talk about NXT call-ups. So let's talk about that in the middle. But let's talk about this Hall of Fame. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's a pretty solid class. Let's talk about the 2006 Hall of Fame. We got Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, Demolition, Dennis Rodman, Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, whichever one you call it, Sid Justice, and Bad News Brown. So, yeah, Sid Justice. That was a name that he had. I feel like he had that before Psycho Sid. When I was growing up with Sid Vicious, I caught the Sid Vicious era, and I caught him in WCW. When he was when Bill Goldberg somehow always had his car trashed. It was crazy. But I'll start with you, Rich King. What do you think about this card? This induction class. I know you're a big Stephanie McMahon fan, so I know you're excited about your girl being in there. So what do you think about this class?
Yeah, it's a pretty solid class, like you mentioned before. Like, yes, I am a big Stephanie McMahon fan, and I feel like we had a year-long wait for her to get into a Hall of Fame at this point. So, like, take a little bit of the lust off of that for me. But she's well deserving. I think she's great. McMahon is always. Look at all of them. All the McMahons except for, I think, Linda did a lot of justice on TV. AJ Styles is somebody I think that retired to get in, well deserved. So I just think like even said. I'm not going to mention Dennis Rodman because I feel like I don't know what his contributions too much besides what he did in WCW. So I think it's just a celebrity Hall of Fame thing. So it is what it is with that piece. But the 3 people that stand out to me was Sid Vicious, which I'm excited that he actually got his flowers to get in there. That power bomb was some power bomb back in the day, right? And for me, like I said, AJ and Stephanie McMahon are the 2 big highlights for me. I'm really interested to see what happens next with AJ. Because Stephanie McMahon's still going to be on TV, so Let's see what happens for him. I know he wants to be behind the scenes, so let's see.
Gene, what do you think about this class?
Same thing. Like literally the three biggest standouts were Psycho Sid, McMahon, and AJ Styles. Although I do feel like AJ going in right after retirement. It's like, dang, like why? Like we're giving
That's fair.
Cena time to breathe, and we're not giving AJ the time to breathe. Like let him marinate in the fact that he just hung up the boots. So I feel like him is way too soon. Stephanie well deserved. The $1 billion princess and the $1 billion slap should have been in there a long time ago. And same thing with Psycho Sid. I wonder why Psycho Sid it took so long to induct him. I was gonna ask, what the hell was Rodman even doing in there? Like, I don't ever remember seeing him in a WWF ring. So I guess we're giving him flowers for, but otherwise, good class. It's definitely a decent class.
It's the WCW. It's definitely the WCW stuff that he did, and he's not the first person to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame who did not. Because I hear what you're saying when you said, "Well, what was his contribution to WWE?" None. At least nothing I can think about, unless there's something that I missed. I remember the stuff with Dennis Rodman in WCW, and he was with the NWO, and I rocked with him. I mean, listen, I if you ever ask like what was the time period where you was like an official wrestling fan, it was in '98. And I think the very first episode I ever watched of Nitro was the night Bill Goldberg interfered in our plans because I was a part of the NWO. No one can tell me otherwise. And I said, why is Stone Cold Goldberg in here? Because I thought he was Stone Cold and not realizing they're two different people. But yeah, I think the class is a pretty good class. I'm with you with that though, Gene, though. I'm with you what you said about AJ when you were saying like, because I do feel like you don't have to put the person in the Hall of Fame right away, but I do think the availability is why they did that. Because I don't know, one of you guys just mentioned something about John Cena. Because you're right, you're like John Cena. Why didn't you put him in? Right, that's your biggest guy. But I think it's the availabilities. AJ Styles, he not anything I know. He's not like doing any kind of acting work or anything like that. So I'm alive, Mr. Cat.
I'm wondering though if they're just slapping names in there because I just realized something. Rey Mysterio's not even retired, and somehow he's in a Hall of Fame class. And if Rodman is in there, it now gives me
he's a fraud. He's inducted for being a fraud. Hall of Fraud.
I'm worried about the Hall of Fame now because if we're inducting Rodman, does that mean we're going to see David Arquette get inducted since he was a former WCW world champ?
That might be potential. That might be a thing. He might potentially be that.
But Gene, there are people in the Hall of Fame that do not belong in the Hall of Fame. We've talked about this.
Absolutely, Donald Trump is in there.
Right.
How?
So I think he's
the orange guy is in there.
Just to be in there. I mean, listen, like at least he did more than some people that's actually in the Hall of Fame already. So, like to Jacko's point, what he did with an NWO, it is what it is. But then think about it too: availability plus the name. Like AJ Styles is great, but Stephanie McMahon, she's a McMahon. Do you really want to put John Cena and Stephanie McMahon in the same class?
I think John Cena totally trumps her, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, Cena definitely overshadows her.
So I don't think that is it the same kind of fanfare or excitement around that if you have John Cena and Stephanie McMahon in the same class. Not to take away from AJ Styles, but this is a McMahon we're talking about. So at the end of the day, to the greatest point, availability, and plus like they announced this, like I said, almost 8 months ago.
They did.
And then if you put John Cena in there, it's going to be like, what was the purpose of announcing this 8 months ago? Because it's not saying that she's the headline, but this is a McMahon we're talking about.
And not for nothing. I do sit here and say this though, no disrespect, because I like Stephanie. I think Stephanie, she does deserve it. I mean, and I would leave it to Rich Kings to be the one to, like point out some of the greatest moments. Because sometimes when we talk about wrestling and we talk about in the conversation with Stephanie, he'll talk about and like when she did this and this and this and this. But I do hope that she is not the headliner though, and that's no disrespect to her. I think it should be AJ Styles. I think that he should be the last one when he's being inducted. And I'm sorry, there's no other follow up except I would not like that very much if Stephanie was the headliner personally.
We'll find out. I mean, to me, it's a flip of a coin. I'm not saying that she deserves it more, but
sure.
I mean, this is her company, so I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Jesus.
But let's talk about WrestleMania. That's what everyone is here to talk about. I hope you guys are ready for some predictions. Let's talk about night one. And they said on I think they said ESPN2, they're gonna have a free hour for WrestleMania. We will be on a ship together, guys. Real quick, before we talk about WrestleMania, I don't know if you guys have anything. If there's a bottle of water or anything, put your glasses up. I want to put cups up to you guys to a great WrestleMania weekend. Gene, we can't see. Oh, there we go. He has the water. Oh, so I'm the unhealthy one. But cheers to a great WrestleMania. Oh, there we go. There we go. Gene. So you're the kind of guy who brings broccoli to. No, it's too late. You failed. But cheers to you, gentlemen, to a great WrestleMania weekend. I look forward to seeing you guys. This is our third WrestleMania prediction show, and to hit many more reviews. Let's do this, guys. Let's talk about night one. It's going to be on ESPN. And cheers to you guys in the chat. If you were with us, we rock with you guys. Thank you for being here. I can't say thank you enough. But they're starting off with 2 matches for each night. And I don't know which one is going to be first between this and the 6-person tag, but let's talk about this match right here. This is a no-holds bar. Anything goes, hardcore, however you want to word it. These guys are just going to be beating the hell out of each other. We had Drew McIntyre going against Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu believes that it was Drew who knocked his teeth out all those many months ago. And they're going to settle the score on Saturday. You know what? Rich Kings, I want you to take the floor here first, sir. QB, who do you got for this match? Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu. Then Gene, please take the floor. Oh, Gene, give Gene a minute. But Rich, please take the floor.
Yeah, I think I got Jacob Fatu here in this match. It's going to be a nice little brawl because I knew you asked me this question before, and I'm going to tip my hand later on. But unsanctioned, yes.
I mean, it's literally the same thing. They say hardcore tribal chief match, 24/7. I mean, I could say all this, and you all know it's hardcore. But please, I'm sorry, Rich Kings, take the.
Yes. And for Mark, we do miss you, Mr. Wins. But I think that Jacob does win this match. I think Drew's a great competitor when you have these type of matches. I think he's somebody that can go toe to toe with, and he understands the assignment of how to perform in these type of matches. But I know you had asked me this question a couple of months ago, a couple of days ago about what's next, like who's gonna be the new face and things like that. And this is a good way to put Jacob in a well position to win this match and be one of those baby faces or a face potentially after WrestleMania. I don't see what this does for him if he loses this match. Like what next? There's enough heels to conquer the land. And you need some more faces to be successful in this company. And not saying that Jacob right now is a face, but at the end of the day, you could be pushing him into that realm. So I do think Jacob wins this match. I think it's gonna be a good opening or a good feeler match. And I can't wait for it, honestly, transparently. So what about you?
I'll sit here and say this. I'm with you. I think I believe Jacob does get the W here. I just don't like Drew losing so much. And I think Drew is in a great place where even when he loses, no one's going to sit here and be like, man, that dude is washed up and that man he needs to ask for his release, because you know how wrestling fans are, because some of them are idiots. But I hate him losing a lot, but I don't believe it would hurt him. I believe Jacob does get the W here. And it makes me interested in seeing what happens next, meaning after this feud, what does he do next? So we're in April, moving into May. I forget what the next pay-per-view is. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm having. I go all the way back to back in the times when we were watching wrestling, and I remember Backlash being after WrestleMania. So I forget what's the next pay-per-view after. But I'm just saying, what happens next for Jacob? What is his next direction? And that makes me interested in it because I think Jacob totally deserves it. I think Jacob is fun to watch. I enjoyed his body of work. So yeah, Jacob gets the W here. But man, oh man, I just hate Drew losing. Like this guy, he kicked off he kicked off the year as the WWE champion, and I didn't think he would make it to Mania. I was like, it's a small chance that he makes it in. But let me ask you this though, Rich Kings, if I could just throw this out here, just as a question, because I we have conversations about wrestling, and we we usually have a fun banter, right? But would you have been more interested in the main event being Randy, Cody, Jacob, and Drew?
Yeah, but that's just window dressing for still Drew to lose or Jake. I don't think that. I think we all understood it's gonna be. I think most of us would have thought it was Randy or Cody winning that match. So it's just throwing people in the match. Like I'm pretty. I know you remember WrestleMania 2000, in the year 2000. No
Yes.
one had the Big Show or Mick Foley. Just did it. It was The Rock or Triple H with the McMahon in every corner. So it's just window dressing at that point. Where you just added some people. It would
That's
make
fair.
see them in the main event, yes, but it still would have been a loss. And to your point, last year, like Drew McIntyre had 27 like main show matches, right? He only won 12 of them. That's a 44% winning percentage for Drew
Oh,
McIntyre.
really? Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. Yeah. No, I didn't
yeah,
know
it's
that.
not what you want. So I do think like this should have been a different year, a different feel. I think if they, to Gene's point about building the character and stuff like that, they would have built him a little bit different this year. Maybe my opinion would have changed. But even when he was the champion for that period of time, we both didn't have confidence that he was going to go into WrestleMania as a champion. So there needs to be a refresh or a restart over here with that. I'm not saying with his character, but how they just utilize him, I think is an opportunity there. Maybe he might need a fraction. Who knows? He needs something. But right now, this
A
is a
faction. Okay. That would be something different for him, honestly. Because I don't think he's oh, he had a faction in TNA. I forgot what they were called. I think they were called like the Rising or something like that. But like in WWE, oh yeah, he was in 3-man band. I forgot about that. Oh
but
god.
that was successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying though. I was just trying to throw out that like because I didn't think he was ever in a faction until you actually like really think about that. Backlash is May 19th. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a date you shouldn't say unless you want Kane to pop up, but May 9th. And we should be there for the review and prediction around in May. So let's make that a thing, right, bud? We got Mark Wins. He's here with us in spirit. He says, Drew out here getting takes breath. You want to say the word? You want to say it?
Dominated. He's getting swept and dominated and just swept under the rug after. Thank you for turning up.
Just Rich Games. When you do, you gotta lift the neck up a little bit and then dominate.
But he didn't even get the neck raise. He didn't deserve the neck raise. He just gets the comment. He's got dominated and then whoosh.
Whoosh. The next match we have a 6-man tag. That's another match that's going to be opening up the show. We have the Usos and LA Knight, going against Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed. And, I was thinking about this today, maybe even yesterday, but I want to say today. And I was like, man, Division, it was supposed to be like this major heel faction, right? This big group. And I have nothing against Speed. Like, I was going to say I like Speed, but I don't need anyone recording that and sending it to people I love. But Speed doesn't do anything to me. Like, I'm not bothered by it, but I'm like, man, this used to be like this main angle on Raw, and now you have Speed in here that makes it kind of just don't make it seem like as main event or as a bigger deal than it was or what it was trying to be. I feel like definitely when Braun Mortgage got injured, both of them got hurt. It just left these two and just scrambling here. But who do I got here? I think this is a win for the baby faces here. I see this as I see the Usos and LA Knight winning here unless WWE decides to have I Show Speed pins LA Knight, which I think I'll start laughing. Honestly, if that was a thing, I don't think I would be able to be contained if I saw that happening. I think I would be too tickled, very tickled, if that happened. But I got the baby faces going over here. But Rich Canes, what do you got here, sir?
I'm actually disagreeing with you. I have the heels winning this match. I do think that so WWE has a trend, mostly. I would say a trend. When they have these celebrities come into the ring, like remember Logan Paul's debut with The Miz and stuff like that, they try to protect them, right? I'm not too sure what the angles would show with Speed. We saw last year what he did in the Royal Rumble, But looking at him and his YouTube work and knowing a little bit more about him, he's very athletic, and I do think he's probably putting in some stuff inside, the ring, under scenes that we don't know to protect it, right? So I do think that he will probably surprise us, and it could be potentially a Bad Bunny kind of situation or a Logan Paul situation where like, wow, you could actually do some moves here in the ring, and it could surprise us. This doesn't give me Jelly Roll vibes. This gives me kind of a Bad Bunny or a Logan Paul kind of vibe, and I do think that
Oh
it
wow,
will be
okay.
because they've been teasing this for a while, right? So you think about last year's Royal Rumble, you think about him wearing that prime outfit to like there's no way you throw him into a match at WrestleMania and not expect him to do something. So I do think that you don't put him in a debut to lose, and I do think he's gonna impress or show some kind of different things that we're not expecting. And I do have the heels actually winning this match. And speaking about Jay Uso, I don't know if this is a stunt, like him and Cameron going
Cameron.
yeah, like, what the hell's going on here? Maybe there's another celebrity. Maybe he comes out and screws Jey Uso on the team. Who knows? But what I would say is that I do think that the heels do win this match.
All right. And honestly, Rich Kings, and I'm glad it's just me and you here because we're very competitive when it comes to this. And honestly, I think I've been wrong only one time against you, and I hate that you're always wrong against me. I hate to throw that to the people watching, but when I'm right here again, I don't know what do you. Your bro looked everywhere. Like, I'm sorry, am I hearing voices in my head? But yeah, the camera. Say it.
Selective memory you have.
I'm doing what they did in like back in the day with video games. You could select which file you wanted to use, and I selected memory every time. But yeah, I saw that thing with Jay and Cameron, and kind of now when I'm seeing that, you might be right because let me ask you this here, right? One of the things that a lot of people are having a problem with this year's WrestleMania is there's so many celebrities going on, being involved here. Does that bother you?
No, I mean, where have we been at? There's always at least one big celebrity at WrestleMania. At least they try to, right? And they kind of like over the last, I'll say this happens more than lately. In the last couple of years, normally we're going up, we have one cut scene to a celebrity in a row, right? Every time you turn on Raw or SmackDown, there's 3 or 4 celebrities they're talking about. This person here, that person here, this person here. They love a celebrity. So
a little too much.
So maybe it's time for them to maybe throw in a ring, maybe do a guest cameo. They're putting these people on TV shows like ESPN. I know we have a merger with ESPN, but the wrestling superstars are on ESPN. They're talking about what they would do with certain superstars, and the superstars are talking about who would be a good manager and stuff like that. So it only makes sense. I mean, that seems the direction they're going in if you're paying attention to the tea leaves. So I'm not surprised that they're doing this. And they're trying to get more visibility and sell more tickets. The best way to do that is to hit multiple different audiences.
And I also think, too, is lowering them ticket prices because that don't help at all. I think that's another thing as well. The celebrity stuff, like, I'm indifferent with it. I do think there is a place for it. Main events and stuff like that, no. And you're right. Like, it's always been, I had someone write me that too, where they were like, celebrities always been, and it's like, that's true. Like the first WrestleMania, it was Hogan and Mr. T against Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. So like, right, I understand that, but your big angle. So we grew up watching WrestleMania 17. You remember that? Stone Cold and The Rock. How would you feel if Fred Durst helped Stone Cold beat The Rock?
I wouldn't mind it, honestly, transparently, because what did Stone Cold do? He used a steel chair, he used this, he used that. Just throwing another body by any means. It doesn't really matter. It's for me. Anyway, that's for me.
No, I respect it. I respect it.
I think when it comes down to the celebrity aspect, they try to find a way to get them involved, whether that's them making a music performance or them in the match.
I almost feel like Cam is going to screw the Usos. I feel like I'm, for the first time in the many years that I've known this lovely gentleman right here, I'm wrong. But, like, yeah. I'm waiting for Vanessa Huggins to be a valet for someone. I would love for her and Topanga. God.
Excellent being the manager.
Yeah. And then a one-off, too, because I remember, I forgot what year it was 95, 96, but Pamela Anderson managed your guy, Shawn Michaels. So yeah. So I wouldn't mind that, a one-off, because I don't think there's something she would want to do, forever. But like, I would be down. I like Vanessa Huggins. I mean, she's a fan of it.
And also, let me ask you this.
Sure, please.
If Ronda Rousey was just an average UFC fighter, we probably wouldn't care. But I think Ronda Rousey became a superstar. She was in movies. She was, and they just had to have her, right? So this is not like they do certain grabs for certain people if the star level is there. And she
Yeah.
was a bit sloppy in the beginning too. But at the end of the day, like, it's not something that's unexpected.
When you talk about the celebrity influence in
Yes.
wrestling. Yeah, no, and I think it's going to be a thing that goes on even after we're no longer here, where they're going to always include. I think it's a little bit more aggressive now because even when you're talking about I don't know if they do it so much on SmackDown, but I know on Raw, they'll place a camera on a celebrity's face, and for me, as I've gotten older, I've kind of just been I've discontinued for the things where there was a time where I kind of knew every artist and celebrity and blah 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 blah. But as I've gotten older, not so much because sometimes they put a camera in someone's face and say, "Who the hell is that? What did they do?" I had no idea. Matter of fact, Drake was at a show. I think it was last year's Elimination Chamber, and he had to tell him like, "No, don't put me on." He was there though, but he said, "No, don't put me on."
Yeah, he wasn't interested. But it's
Yeah.
almost like celebrity role. That's why it's entertainment, I guess, that piece. Like in basketball, they have a celebrity role where there's always a star there. So I guess they're
Fair
trying to
enough.
do that kind of parts in the entertainment piece.
I will sit here and give you credit, one Rich Kings, because that's why I love you on the show because you can bring that sport feel here. Because as you mentioned that, I mean, you've known me for many years and know like the only thing I watch is wrestling. So you watch basketball and baseball and football and all that stuff. And especially in basketball, especially in New York, you are always going to see Spike Lee right there in the front row. I want to say Jack Nicholson too, right? I don't know. I feel like it's
Well,
New
Jack
York.
Nicholson's on the Lakers.
Oh, he's the Lakers. Okay. There we go. That makes sense. Let's get into this match right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about here. We have Stephanie Foucault defending her Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan. Rich Kings, I want you to take the floor here first. How do you feel about this feud, and who do you got winning this championship?
In the beginning of this feud, I didn't think it was gonna be all that interesting. Honestly, did not think it was gonna be all that. But it has gotten a little bit physical. It's gotten a lot of like trash talking. They have upped the ante when it comes down to like their build for the WrestleMania. I think per se, like there's a lot of back and forth. There's action every week from them. My heart says Liv wins, but I want Stephanie to win. Like I just feel like the character, like what she's doing, I like it. I personally am a fan of Stephanie. I think she's great for business, but I could see like Liv just winning and going on from there. But then, what is going on with the Judgment Day? I'm ready for that thing to end. Like, come on, like, enough. So I'm looking at like what would that do for the Judgment Day to end? Maybe a Liv loss. Maybe I don't know if Raquel screws her over. I don't know what happens there with that. To be honest with you, for that thing to actually end for once. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna just say Stephanie wins. I'm gonna say Stephanie wins. I think they are gonna have a great match. I think they're both gonna put on an amazing show, but I do think that I got Stephanie winning here because Liv has been over for such a long time, and I don't think a loss would hurt her.
Can I ask you real quick? I'm interested in hearing your opinion because I love the conversation. Stephanie Foucault had been on the main roster for a few months. How do you feel about her run to this point on the main roster?
I think I don't want to say it's protected, but I don't think they want her to fight everybody at once, which I could understand. I think that's crazy coming from me because I was bashing Tiffany Strand last year, right? But the thing with Tiffany is that they just kept paying the same people over and over and over. Not saying they're doing the same thing with Stephanie is similar, but at the same time I think there's a different feel to the angle of the matches that she's having. So I don't think it's a bad showing. I like last year, I was surprised she came up so fast in general, but I think she's doing a solid job, and I think it would have been different if Naomi was still here. Like, I know you feel that Stephanie's going to win regardless, but if Naomi was here, I don't know. I honestly do not know she would have beat Naomi. So that's what I feel about that run. I think, obviously, wrestling plans change, injuries, pregnancies, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that it was a solid job what she's doing so far with the belt. But I do think that what they're doing is protecting her from not facing Tom, Dick, and Harry, or actually, I could say AJ. Then the others. It's like if you're gonna. It's like section.
Like the other name. I'm sorry, like
Right.
the other names that she can face. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna face this amount And then later on, we could do some rematches, but sprinkling some other people too. So I'm excited to see what happens in the Raw. She does retain, but say she does drop it, I can see her regaining it relatively in the next 6 months, and then different rivalries after that.
I want to highlight one Mark wins. We wish he was here, bud. But he said, "Oh no, they're gonna let." So I'm just curious. Are you not excited? Are you not? I guess when I asked the comment, like, are you a Liv fan or are you just so big? I'm sorry, I meant for Mark, but even you can answer that too if you wish.
It's not that I'm not a Liv fan. I just seen this a few times already. When I'm ready to see something else. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I think that she will win again, obviously in the near future. But it's almost, I don't want to see Rhea win again. It's the same thing. I don't want to see Liv win again. Let a little bit of a run go. Let somebody else win. Like if she was going to get somebody else, my opinion would have changed.
I like this. I think this is an interesting comment here that Jeffrey. I think it's going to be a while because, like, how long ago did Naomi? Because I know she gave birth recently. I forget how long ago. If it was like last month or maybe 3-4 weeks ago or something like that. But I think that I just think that's actually really interesting. I'm about to get my prediction here, but he said Liv isn't bad. I'd prefer Stephanie. Oh, Senorita Vaquer.
Yes, I'll let Senorita Vergara. Listen, I don't think she'll be back probably until like maybe Survivor Series, because you want to be with the baby, the mother's love, and all sort of stuff. Honestly, she might not come back to the Royal Rumble. To be honest with you,
right? She might take the rest of the year. Yeah.
But think about what happened with Becky. Like, how long was she out before she returned?
She was out for a year and some change. She came back. That was it. SummerSlam. Yes, that's SummerSlam. She was out in 2020. And I think she came back 2022. I forget. But, like, yeah, it was a SummerSlam. I forget what year it was. Well, yeah, I think about I didn't see the music video. Did you see the music video? I might watch it tonight because I'm going to stay up for a bit because I still have to pack. But did you catch the video?
I did not. I did see it on Sports Center earlier today on an interview, but I did not see the music video.
All right. There we go. My prediction here. I was listening to a few predictions here, and I sometimes don't, because I don't want it to judge my cloud my judgment and stuff. But it was an interesting point where it's like I think you get some more storylines out of Liv being the champion than Stephanie. I think Stephanie is a really good. I think she's really, really great. I make the jokes because my girl JC Jane dominated her on that episode of NXT. That's why Stephanie's so scared to be on NXT now. It was right after that loss that she said, "Oh no, I can't be here anymore because I got dominated." But I think she's really, really good and talented. But I think you can have a story because even something that you mentioned Raquel, but let's even talk about Roxanne Perez. There's gonna be there's a story to be told there. And I can see Liv winning it. And I think it was you that just even said it here. I'm forgiven because, I have a conversation about wrestling a lot with people, but she's pretty over. People love Liv. I think that I do think Liv is taking this. I think Liv is taking this. And I think, this feud, it really picked up the last few weeks just because of how aggressive it is. So there was a few times where I was like, they know this is a work, right? You saw how last week where they bumped their heads and Liv have this big goose egg right here. Like I heard it's no longer there. Oh, not even that's no longer, but it shrunk a little bit. But the first week I said, damn. Did y'all? Let's see. Jeffrey asked, did y'all see that she went crazy? I did. I didn't watch Raw live, so I forgot what I was doing, but I was able to watch clips of stuff what was going on, and I was like, oh snap. So yeah. And Roxanne did have one as well. But you know what it is? Because Liv is still on TV, so you can I guess for me is like, well, Liv is on TV, so I see it, and I'm like, oh, Liv had this goose egg. I don't think Roxanne was on this week. But I did see it on her IG. I did see it on social media. Let's move forward here to the next match. We talked about that. Let's talk about another women's match here. And I'll take the floor here first, if you don't mind, Rich Kings. We have AJ Lee, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, going against Becky Lynch. I was listening to a little bit of Becky Lynch's interview with Chris Van Vliet. Chris Van Vliet is a pretty fun interview, a podcast and interview is always fun listening to him. Becky Lynch is so fucking good. Like, she's so great. Like, she was also out of character, but she was also in character because when she mentioned AJ Lee, she said, absolute joke Lee. And I was like, oh, that's so damn good. They have been feuding since AJ Lee been here. AJ Lee has beaten her twice. She has the tag team match, the War Games match, and for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky got to get her win back. Becky I just feel like she got to get her win back. I think I would be impressed if AJ Lee won this match and retained, but I do believe that you got to put the championship back on Becky. AJ Lee is not going to always be here. It seemed like she's running on a part-time deal, which is cool. That's fine. But you want your champion to be here. And I think you put that championship on Becky Lynch. So I got Becky Lynch winning. And I don't think she beats her fair. She cheats in some kind of matter. But Becky Lynch gets the win. What do you got here, Rich Kings?
Yeah, coming into today, I had Becky Lynch winning as well, too. But then more and more thought about it. I was like, well, she gets it. Who's going to challenge Becky Lynch, let's say, on the next Raw? Like, who's going to be there? And I think what I think about the faces on Raw, I'm like, well, for the women's side, I'm like, well, what can they do that they have not done? Are they going to do a heel versus heel match? Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff, but I think that would be good. And AJ Lee, to your point, is part-time, so it's like it doesn't really hold anything. But I do think I'm gonna go back to my original point. I do think Becky Lynch should and will win the match. The only reason why I have some hesitancy is because I'm not worried about feuds. Like, who's next? I'd love to see her versus Natty. I think that would have been good, right? It would have been good. I'm not sure if it's gonna be good now, but when she first had that thing with Maxine Dupree around that Royal Rumble season, that would have been great then. But then she wasn't the champion, right? Because I do someone like Natty should be an Intercontinental champion. I feel like when's the last time she had a belt? Like, when's the last time? I'm not saying not relevant, but like I feel like we're using her as like a filler, and I think she should be the Intercontinental champion. So I was pointing at that. So
I love that. No, and I 100% agree with you. I hear the conversation about Natalya and she doesn't have character and stuff, but the Women's Intercontinental Championship, the Intercontinental Championship in general, that belt was made for her. Like, that belt right there. I've always had a love and respect for Natalya. I think that she's great. I think she's very talented. I think her in-ring work. I think even now, I don't think too many women can touch it. And I wish that they viewed her the same way that I did. So I agree with you. Like, I hope before she hangs it up or decides to hang it up, and I love what she's also doing for the women's division because she has a school. She has, I think it's called the Dungeon 2.0. And I think that's so cool because it's a place for and it's not just for women, but males as well, if you want to sharpen your skills. But there's a lot of women who could use that training. And I think she's great in so many ways. And I hope that eventually she gets rewarded. And I think her being, and that's fine. I say it's Natty, not Natalya, but you know who we mean, Jeffrey. Yeah. But nonetheless, like, I just think she deserved her flowers is what I'm trying to get at. I think she deserved it. And I loved everything that you said here because I am 100% agree with what you're saying. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
I did say that Becky Lynch can win, but I would share my other angle I was going to share. I could see AJ winning and then dropping it on Raw to someone like a Natty or Roxanne or Raquel, somebody else. Like, listen, I just beat Becky Lynch for the 4th time. I'm just going to lose it again. I'll just lose it in the next round of Raw because, they look at Raw as the new season, right? So I could look at that and see that could be a possible angle. But I do agree with you. I think Becky should win the match and carry on.
Yeah, what I will sit here and say, because when you was talking about what would be next, if AJ won, I guess you can have a call up at that point. The face,
maybe your girl JC Jane.
I will not be able. You cannot contain this kind of power. If she was, I do think JC Jane would be a good fit for Raw because I do think her as the Women's Intercontinental Champion, and we'll talk about the call ups and potential, but I do think that she would be a great call up. See, Mark gets it. Lawyer, you are missed because he gets it. Let me tell you about Mark Wins. He said, let me tell you, Mark Wins is so great. He watches wrestling. He has a respect for it. He doesn't watch it all the time, but he said, "Hey, I opened up Facebook and JC Jane was the women's champion, and he immediately hit me up and said, like, I thought about you. I am the conductor of the Jane train. Chew, MF Chew. Let's talk about the next match. But that women's intercontinental title would look good around her waist. I'm just saying, let's do it. I was ready. Look, Rich Kings, can I tell a story? So a few weeks ago, NXT was out here in New York City and MSG at the theater. Now, JC didn't. She wasn't wrestling because she's the champion. Because why would winners fight for free? But I was ready to hop the rails when she got jumped by Kendall Gray and Lola Vice, who did cheat in that match. And you might say, well, how did she cheat? Just trust me, bro. That's all I can get. Let's talk about this match here, Rich Kings. This was the match that I feel like Jean Baptiste was talking about when he was saying like there was no build. We have Seth freaking Rollins going against Gunther. And look, there is not a proper build for this. They from everything that I was hearing, it seemed like the original idea was going to be Gunther against Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio, the greatest fraud to ever blink, probably sat here and said, oh no, if I get in the ring with him, I have to retire. So he faked a rib injury. It was fake. I don't believe that he was really hurt. I think he didn't want to get in the ring with Gunther and be retired. I think he was scared that if Gunther powerbombed him, you turn into like instant dust, ID, if you will. And we got this match, him and Seth Rollins. Rich Kings, I want to give you the floor because I'm talking a lot and I just feel like bashing Rey Mysterio for whatever reason. But take the floor. What do you got for this match? Because Rey Mysterio knew what time it was if he got in the ring with Gunther. If you get in the ring with Gunther, it's like you're at the trail end of your life. That's it. And Rey Mysterio said no, and he ran the opposite direction. Good for him, but you can't run away from Gunther forever. But I'm so sorry. Rich Kings, take the floor.
Yeah, I don't. If the career isn't online, there's zero interest in the match of Rey Mysterio and Gunther. There's no purpose for this. It's like there's no intrigue for me personally as a wrestling fan, and maybe I think WWE is over assessing this point of his career. If you're going to put a Rey Mysterio versus Gunther match and not make his career on the line, no, not interesting. No. So I do think the pivot was an actual smart pivot here. I understand about the no build, no story, but when you have two people at the top of your industry that don't have a match or a filler, you need to do something. And I don't know if they thought Seth was going to come back as early as he did. I don't know what the plan was, but poor Seth is like the second or third time this happened to him where he doesn't have an opponent for WrestleMania. They're like scrambling. You know what happened with Cody Rhodes 5 years ago, and now what happened here with Gunther. You know, we thought that it was Cody Rhodes returning anyway. And I don't know if they thought maybe they were getting Chris Jericho and maybe it could be Rollins versus Jericho. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But what I would say right now, the pivot is a smart pivot. Two good wrestlers at WrestleMania, and it's going to be great. I listen, I think they're both going to put on the show. I do think that Gunther is going to win this match, as I think he should. There should be some proper momentum for him to eventually have a Gunther versus Roman Reigns match, kind of spoiling my prediction later on. But at the end of the day, Gunther is who he is. And I do think that he doesn't need a build. Because even like, what are we going to do with a build? Have a little video package before the match? That's not going to do nothing for me when it comes down to Gunther versus Seth Rollins. So at the end of the day, I think they could just put on the wrestling boots, have a great match, and Gunther's going to do Gunther things. Steph better hope he doesn't do.
I'm sorry, it's just the Gunther's do Gunther things. Who do you got going over in this match? I'm sorry.
The wrestling, he's the new wrestling god. Like he's just it.
To ask Mark Wynn's question here, he says, is Seth? No, he's not part of it. He got kicked out. And the original plan was going to be him and Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker got hurt. And I'm assuming that, I'm not even going to say I'm assuming, but I heard, because you hear stuff online, that he's cleared, but they just don't want to rush him back because they want to take care of him, and which they should. I mean, there's no need to rush him back. Take your time with Braun. I would have loved for this match to have been at Mania, but yeah, no, just no, health first. Jeffrey, yeah, he was faking, Jeffrey. I think Ray knew, like, oh no. He said, oh no, I can't get in the ring with him. And he came up with a fake doctor's note to
I
get in the
think
ring with Gunther.
he lied to say he had a concussion. He read what was on the paper. Oh, my head hurts. I can't do it.
I mean, listen, we've been me and Rich King. Me and Rich King's been friends since third grade. This is my guy. But I knew we were really best friends when it was something about Ray, and he came out, and I said I booed him. He said, "Me too." I said, "Oh, we're twinning as fuck." Like, I forgot what it was. I gotta find that tweet. I mean that message because it was just so hilarious. I said, "This is my guy right here." But Gunther and Seth Rollins, I mean, I'm with you with it. I think this match is they're gonna kill it. This might be match of the night for night one. It might be match of the weekend. Who knows? I think it has a lot of potential. And yes, if you sit here and say, "Man, there's not this build and all that stuff," I hear you. I understand you. But I almost promise you, when these guys go out there in the ring, you're going to forget about all that. Oh, there was no build and stuff. You're going to say, man, that was a really good fucking wrestling match. And I think these guys are going to kill it. And Gunther should win. Gunther should not lose. Gunther retired two greats, John Cena, AJ Styles, and Bill Goldberg. And I think that with that, he shouldn't lose right away. I think you need to protect him as much as you can. I know this is Seth Rollins' first match since, oh God, when did he get injured? Like October. Let's say October. This is his first match since October, right? I get that. But Gunther's been just killing dudes. Let him keep going. And eventually when he does lose, and I can't tell you who he should lose to, but when he does, it should be because you want to put a rocket behind this person because you either want to build him up or he's established. But I really want to go with we want to build this person up. So Gunther needs to get the win more than Seth Rollins. And I think he's not even going to win. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But I don't even think Gunther's going to win on some clean stuff. I think as Braun, he can't compete. I do think we get an appearance from him, but we'll wait and see. But you wanted to say something before I move to the next match?
No, I disagree. And I'll just say this about the build. Sometimes we have a build, and the match is just absolute trash.
Mm-hmm.
So a building or a preview to a match does absolutely nothing for me.
You know, I want to give a shout out to you because we're going to get to the main event of night one here, but I remember you texted me when Pat McAfee, you said, yo, did you see SmackDown? I was like, nah. And he was like, Pat McAfee turned heel. And I was like, oh, it's funny because a week or so ago, he was like, he's not going to be on air or whatever, right? Like he was done with WWE. And I was like, I was indifferent about it. So I said, like, yo, how do you feel about it? And he was like, well, I want to see what the final product is. And I appreciate that because you're just like, well, let me see what the end game is here. Because it's easy to sit here and say, I hate the beginning, right? And then in the middle or the end, you're like, oh, snap, this was actually cinema or a masterpiece, however you want to word that. So I wanted to give you your flowers on that, where you talked about, like, even here we said, because everyone want to talk about the build. But it's also and I think everyone's different, but it's like, what is the final product? What are you getting here? What does this look like at the end? Because the build could be shit, but the end thing could be everything that you want it to be.
Facts.
Let's talk about this match, and I'm going to give you the floor here first. We have a fatal four-way for the Women's Tag Team Championship. We have Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Lash Legend making her first WrestleMania appearance, and hopefully many, many more because that gal deserves it. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair as a team. I'm sorry, Alexa actually went on in the background. I have an Alexa. Hold on. Alexa, stop. Jesus Christ. Bailey, Lyra Valkyria, and the Bella Twins. I'm giving you the floor here. First one, Rich Kings. What do you got in this women's tag team match?
Again, what I want to see versus what I think is going to happen is two different things. What I want to see is Nia Jax and Lash Legend retain these championships and they're keeping it moving. Like, just dominate the women's division. That's what I would prefer to happen. And then maybe a few of them happen later on, like how they typically do it and later on down the year or whatever. But I do think Bailey and Lyra Valkyria actually win this match. I think I'm saying like Bailey had a year of irrelevance, but what did Bailey actually do last year? Like I do feel like they did not really. I don't. As far as I remember, she didn't have a belt. Am I wrong? I don't think that she had some feuds. It took off the WrestleMania card. It just was,
You
just
talking
a
about Baylor?
weird, yeah. It was just a weird year for her last year. So I do think like, how can we make it up? Not make it up, but I do. How do you put somebody else front and center, give her like another kind of like run? So I do think Bayley and Lyra Valkyria win the match. That was my thought process around it. Charlotte doesn't need to win another WrestleMania. Like I think Charlotte and Alexa Bliss angle that could be over with. Maybe they could split them up. I don't know, but on two different shows if they want to be like a nice clean split. But the Bellas, listen, I know that they come back from retirement to lose, but at the same time is if they can't, they should not have those tag titles. They should not. I'm just leaving it at that. I think Bayley and Lyra wins the match, but yeah, I think Bella's coming back. I mean, as far as I understand, I think she's healed, and she should be in the match unless they pulled her off, and I didn't see anything about it.
Jeffrey, when he puts the question mark, because I did hear like she was walking with a boot or something like that. I think she has a messed up ankle or foot. I forget what it is. But I honestly, when it came to this match, I had the Bellas winning because they kept talking about like this was a thing that they wanted to win those championships, and I felt like they were going to do that. Now I'm with you when you said Nia and Lash retaining. I'm for that. Like I'm for that. I like Nia Jax. I think her run as the women's champion, her last run was just not as good as it could have been. I felt like there was a lot of things that could have made it better, and it wasn't that good. But I would love them to retain. Is my point. And I like Lash. Lash. I mean, I watch NXT and I watch her growth and see how good that she has gotten throughout the years. I'm just happy that she's having her WrestleMania moment, and once again, hopefully many, many more. I'm sorry, I wanted to highlight this again because, we know Mark wins and he would love for it to be elimination style. And I would have loved that too. I don't think they utilize that enough. And I wish that they would. I wish they would do elimination. I do. And Mark says, here we go with the Bellas. I know Mark went. He's a big fan of Nikki Bella. He has a Nikki Bella shirt on as we speak. Huh?
You can look, but you can't touch. That's gonna be Mark's new theme. I love it.
He does this. He does
it in reverse.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yes.
Right now he's laughing and he's also saying he's calling us all kinds of MFs.
It'll be perfect.
Let's talk about the main event here. We have the main event of night one. Cody Rhodes defend his WWE Championship against Pat McAfee with Randy Orton coming out beside him. What's funny? It's funny. I'm looking at that picture. I scrolled through social media and someone said, when did Randy Orton start teaming up with Johnny Bravo? I said,
what the hell?
Yeah. Rich Kings, I want to give you the floor here first here because, once again, you were the one who just said like, hey, I just want to see what the final product is. And and pretty much you taught me about, hey, sometimes you just have to be a little bit patient, right? I feel like a lot of times with wrestling fans, they immediately, and look, I'm guilty of it myself too. I don't want to pretend like it's everyone and not me. Like sometimes I immediately don't like it. And then I'm brought back in and be like, hey, why don't we see how everything is first before we just go like, hey, this is terrible, right? But who do you got here for Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes? And I think I should throw this out. Pat McAfee said, if Randy Orton loses, he will never be. He's out. And I feel like that's a giveaway. But please, what do you got here?
So fantasy booking, right? So if this is, hey TK, Justin, what do you think? Let's paint a big story. I think. We get the dark Cody. Like I told you, I feel like it's time for him to turn heel, whatever the case may be. I know we talked about the face stuff, but let that someone else to deal with. I think I would love to see The Rock interfere, just fuck over Randy Orton. That'd be great. And then have the Rhodes wins the match. That would be my fantasy booking. I love that. But in reality, I do think Cody Rhodes wins. He's gonna find some way to win. Because like I keep thinking, when I keep hearing the Stephanie McMahon promo, what's the purpose of him pushing him to lose? They got Pat McAfee saying what he's saying. Everybody's saying, listen, like this is what it is with you doing this. It's time for a change, essentially. And if you don't get a change or some kind of heel or some kind of maneuver or some kind of trick up his sleeve, he can't be going in here by himself. I'm not saying Pat McAfee's that big of a threat. He's not a threat. Let's come on. It's Pat McAfee. But he can do a couple of things on the side to distract and do some things to help out in the match. So I do think it has to be something Cody does to get the edge over Randy. And if he comes in here, if Cody comes in here by himself and thinks that he's going to win this match against Randy Orton at this level, Cody's going to lose then. And he has to have some kind of trick up his sleeve to pull this off. And I'll remind you, we have seen some Cody kind of like heelish moments or sneaky moments when it comes down to some things happened last year. We got a little like, is he going to turn heel? Like, did he do something against John Cena at SummerSlam or whatever that pay-per-view was with the championship belt? There was also some other like little like side-eye looks things he was looking and thinking about doing. So I do think it's time that Cody Rhodes turns heel. I do have Cody winning this match. And if Cody Rhodes doesn't turn heel, then a waste of time. This a waste of time.
Honestly, I wish, Mark Wins, I know you'll be joining us for some more stuff. And shout out to Mark Wins. Can we just give a shout out to our guy? I have nothing in the cup, but shout out to him because I know he's the biggest Cody Rhodes fan. He's wearing a Cody Rhodes shirt underneath his Nikki Bella shirt. I don't even understand that. I just imagine a piece of sweat just going down because he's such a fan, and he's just I'm sorry, Mark.
Who's on his Mount Rushmore? Cody, Nikki,
Bill Goldberg. So he definitely have a Bill Goldberg shirt on. So he got 3 shirts. We think this is the 4th shirt.
Finish your thought, and I'll get back to you.
Oh God. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely Juventud Guerrera. It's definitely Juventud Guerrera. So he has 4 shirts on. Matter of fact, 5 because I think he's a fan of AJ Styles. So he's over sweat. So I want a AI picture of him with like 5 shirts in the summertime. That's funny. Now he's sitting there saying, "I think this is towards you because I've never done this." So he says, "Here we go with the slander." So for this match, excuse me, I'm sorry. A little bit of stuff going on here with the chest, but I honestly got Randy winning number 15. I think when Pat said that, I felt like it's a giveaway. I hear what you're saying about Cody, and I think this is the second WrestleMania where Cody loses to someone from the ruthless aggression era. Last year he lost to John Cena. He got kicked in the dick. I almost promise he's going to get kicked in the dick again. For whatever reason, everyone kicks him in the dick. It's just like, I don't like your dick, Cody, and they just kick him. There's a lot of pictures of him. Pat McAfee kicked him in the dick. I almost want to see the ref do it just for shit for shit and giggles.
Yeah, fast count car, right? She could do it.
Oh, are you talking about the ref who be they'll be screwing Becky?
Fast count car, crooked car. Yeah.
Crooked, yeah. That's what it is. Crooked car. Yeah. But I got Cody losing here. I think Randy wins. He wins number 15. I do believe Jelly Roll will be out there to try to counter Pat McAfee. I do see that. How you said that's not good? Because someone got to counter him, and who else would it be? And Jelly, I feel like you watch SmackDown a little bit more than I do, but like Jelly, there was one episode of Jelly. He had 4 segments, 4 fucking segments. Like, and I'm not gonna complain about it. He did a song for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie, which was a good movie, by the way. Was fantastic, but he has a song on there, so I don't hate Jelly, but he had 3 segments, which is ridiculous. And I think that's the thing too, why a lot of people feel how they feel about celebrities being at WrestleMania this year is because you talked about Tiffany Stratton, right? Tiffany Stratton was the women's champion last year, now on the card. Sky, forgive me, I had a flashback. She was the women's champion last year, not on the card. And there's one more name, and I think we all feel like, I don't know how you guys feel in the chat, but for me, Mello should be on the card. And I think it's a sin that he's not on the card. But there's another person who's on the card. Damian Priest is a former world heavyweight champion. not on the card. And I think it's a sin. And not to say like that tag team division is so strong and needs to be on it, but he's a champion. Him and R-Truth. And who are the Raw Tag Team champs? I forget.
I know what's your truth, but they got
I'm just saying, but they're champions, bro. But I hear you.
Get it. But well, who are you taking off? Who are you taking off this card to make room for R-Truth and Damian Priest?
Can I look at this card real quick? Because if you're saying
Sure.
name off head, let me look at this.
And then who are you going to take the card for, Io or Tiff?
For night one, I'm not gonna lie. That 6-person tag, I could live without.
To
honestly.
see Damian Priest and R-Truth.
If you're asking me for a match, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I get it, but even still, like, I don't know. Like, these are. All I'm saying is this. This is my point. This is just simply my point. I hear what you're saying. You're saying like them as champions, right? And right, they just won the championship a few weeks ago, but they're champions. I'm just saying they're champions, and I think Julia is your United States champion. I'm just saying, I think stuff like that is a sin.
Right. So, like I said, who you taking over? You take off the 6-man tag. That means the other team doesn't get on, unless you do a champion versus champion. And if you're doing champion versus champion,
but let me ask you, and I hear what you're saying, because like I guess it would be like, who is said tag team going against for this? Because even then, I thought last year when we were out there for the night one for WrestleMania, right, and we had New Days against War Raiders, I would have replaced that match and had DIY, Street Profit, and Motor Machine Guns, and they end up having that on SmackDown. That was the match that should have been on the card, not New Day and War. And I like the War Raiders. I do. I really do. It's a shame that they're not being featured as much, but I like them personally. But I hear what you're saying I hear what you're saying with that, and I'm just saying like, but these are champions. I think that should be a priority. Is what I'm trying to get at. I can understand if you debate me on it, but I still sit here and go like, these are your champions.
I agree. So if you want to showcase the champions, then I would say take off the Drew and Jacob match. That could be a SmackDown match. If you want to,
but I feel like that got more steam than the 6-person tag.
But if you want to prioritize the champions, something has to go. That's not a championship match. LA Knight will have to go. But I think a lot of times it is also when we're doing these makeshift matches. We have like these heels, like the Usos and LA Knight. We had to find a space for LA Knight. Like it's like he just came back
because he's a big name.
Yeah, so I think like they're picking and choosing versus like back then it was the same people over and over and over and then sprinkling somebody else earlier, right? And that's just with one night. We got 2 nights and there's still no room for Julia. There's still no room for Tiffany Strand. There's still no room for some of these people. That means that the talent is better. And the only thing I would say is if we don't think like the Bills are the Bills, that goes back to the build. To your point, right? The steam is better. But if we want to, I think, and Julia is very underrated. I just don't understand what we're not doing with her. I don't understand what the point is. But I do think I agree with you that some championships be on there. But I think R-Truth has so many WrestleMania moments that
he would be fine if he missed.
Yeah.
I can respect your opinion on that. I just feel like when you're a champion, that should be a priority. And maybe that's just some old school. Maybe that's old school booking. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
No, sir, I can agree with that.
And I just think I think that should be a priority because even with Julia, and if you said, well, what is she doing? And I'm like, you're right. But even then, that is their problem. They need to put focus on her. I'm not even like this diehard Julia fan, but even I could look and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here?
I agree. She should be on the show. They could put her in a ladder match and some other women, right? Put some people might see whatever. Figure it out. But I do think that there's an opportunity there that they could have missed. They missed there. And like I said, personally, Jacob and Drew could have been on SmackDown. Or that could have been.
And I respect that.
Or that could be an ESPN pre-show match.
Right. They don't even do pre-shows anymore. And even then, I wouldn't even mind if they had some of these matches as pre-shows. Not even talking about necessary like the matches that's on the card right now. I'm talking about someone like Julia, who is your United States champion, you should make that belt feel like a big deal. I've always been an advocate on, because some people be like, oh, it's a prop. And I'm like, It's a prop if you make it a prop, but if you make it a big deal and you make it feel, and that's one of the reasons why I loved when Roman Reigns was your undisputed champion, because it felt like a big deal. It felt like a money match, and your championship matches should feel like money. That's just how I feel. But we're gonna get to night 2. Rich Cans, I'm excited to talk about this with you. I don't know how much of NXT that you watch, but I know sometimes we chatter about it. But let's talk about potential call-ups. Are you excited to talk about the potential call-ups, one Rich Kings?
Let's do it.
So I saw online, and I think it was bodyslam.net that reported this. I'm not too sure. But I saw it online. I talked about it on the Big Pop Theory podcast, the audio edition, and talked about it on NXT on Tuesday. So there are 6 names that potentially could be called up to the main roster. And these are the 6 names. And Jeffrey, I know you be watching NXT. We chatted about NXT, so I'm excited to hear about your thoughts. Mark Wins, if you're still in the chat, please, if you're excited about anything or if you have any thoughts, because even though you're not on with us, you're with us. Too sweet. But these are the names: Sol Ruka, Joe Hendry. Gotta make sure he just doesn't randomly appear here. Ricky Saints, JC Jane, Blake Monroe, and Ethan Page. How are we feeling about those 6 names there?
I would have probably kept Sol Ruka down for her to get like some kind of championship run with the regular belt, but I think she's done enough work. I think Joe Henry is no surprise. So if you would have said, "Hey, who do you think? Give me 3 stars or 4 stars when it came up," Joe Henry would have been on my list. I think JC Jane would have been on my list because she's been living in NXT, almost how the other guy was down there. What's his name? The guy that teamed
Tony
up with
D?
Yeah, like living in NXT. So I think it's great for her to get called up. So those would be my 2 top picks. But I'm not surprised by the list here. I'm just not surprised by Ricky Saints, Ethan Page. I'm not surprised about who was the other lady you just said?
Oh, Blake Monroe?
Yeah, Blake Monroe. Like she came from AEW, right? And she had this, even though it's been a year, maybe they need some fresh talent. Maybe they need some fresh blood to go after these United States championships and things that we were just talking about right now, right? So when there is so much call-ups, I think this is where the cuts started to happen. So then I'm just looking around like, well, there's a lot of people on. If we just argue they can't get on the WrestleMania card, what are you gonna do with some of these talent that you have up here right now? So that's my only concern with some of the people coming up. I do think it's well deserved. I think the better question is where you're gonna put some of these people at. Now I do think Joe Hendry should be on SmackDown because that if Cody does turn heel, hey, there's your face right there. Somebody that could just
wait. So I'm interested here. Let's digest there. So you said if Cody turns heel, you would have Joe Henry as your face of that brand.
yeah, it's a face. Yeah, I mean he showed that he could do it in TNA, right? He showed that he could do it in TNA. He has a following. People happy when he comes out with that damn theme. So there's some byproduct there to that, right? So see what we have going on with Trick with that whoop that Trick, and everybody just gets crazy when they hear that theme, right? And he's more of a heel than anything else. You need something to counteract that as a face guard. And I think you could do that on SmackDown. I think that's the best fit for him right there. JC Jane, I think she needs to be on Raw. I think she reminds me of like a Raw superstar. I can see Blake Monroe on SmackDown because she just gives you that kind of like I'm thinking about back in the day, but also currently what they need right now on SmackDown. Ethan Page and Ricky Saints have split them up, so I might put Ethan Page on Raw to put Ricky Saints on SmackDown. I don't think that they need to be on the same brand at all, but at the same time I do think that they could have certain feuds with certain people on those brands that make the most sense. And who am I missing? I'm missing somebody here. Oh, Sol Ruka. So it's tough. I guess you're anyone, but if you're asking me where I would put her right now, I'll probably put her on Raw. I think on SmackDown there's so much going on with some of the women down there, not down there, but over there. I think that her being on Raw too would be pretty good.
I think I would put her on SmackDown only because they're 3 hours. I think SmackDown needs more. They need, and I was saying help, but they need more talent down there than Raw. I do agree with JC on Raw. I think she would be a great fit on Raw. You said Blake to be on SmackDown, correct?
Yes.
I could agree with that. Ricky, I love that you separated them. And part of me was like, no, Ricky on Raw. And I mean, when we would do the GM mode, if I could pull the curtain back a little bit, my guy here, Rich Kings, he would clobber me in GM mode. Like I just never stood a chance. He was SmackDown, I was Raw. Um, and you said you would put Ethan on Raw and Ricky on SmackDown, correct?
Yes.
I'm not mad at any of these things here, and I feel like for a lot of these people. So I was watching this week's NXT, and this week is it's NXT Revenge. This is week 1. Next week is week 2, and Blake Monroe is going to be having a casket match with Tatum Paxley. I'm so sorry, I butchered this woman's name, Tatum Paxley. And I heard that, I said, "Oh, she's leaving NXT." And so Ruka is going to be in a last woman standing match against Zarya. They had a match at Stand and Deliver, and so Ruka won. And I don't think she's winning this at all. I think it would be hilarious if she did win. But I see Zarya beating her and sending So Ruka to the main roster. I like JC Jane. I people know I'm a big fan of her. I think she deserved all the success in the world. She earned it, and she deserved it. She lost this week, and people were saying, "Man, it looked like this is the end." But I feel like she still needs to be down there a little bit because she has one more arc down there, and that's what the Fatal Influence. And they never had that match with her and Fallon, so I don't think she's going to be called up right away. I still don't think that, even though I hear what people are saying. I could be totally wrong. I have no sources except the ones in the refrigerator. But I just don't think that she's going to be called up right away. But I like that for her. Blake Monroe. What else? Well, this would be the first ever women's casket. Yes, you're right. And I feel like we talked about everything, but these 6 are great picks for the main roster because I think they could use some juice on the main roster. I think they could, and I think also too when we're entering WrestleMania season, we're like, what is the next direction? And you have to keep moving forward. And someone like JC, when I did the NXT review show, they were like, JC been on NXT for 5 years. I'm like, so was Tony D'Angelo. So eventually these people got to be called up. And I look forward to seeing what happens moving forward. So let's talk about night 2. We're an hour and 16 minutes, and we hope to finish this before the 2-hour mark. This is 10 o'clock here in America. Because I'm pretty sure it's 10 o'clock where you're at in Miami, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna be sure because I know when we were in
East
Vegas,
Coast.
the East Coast. See, this is why he's the smartest man in the room because I did not know that. Let's talk about this night 2. They have 6 matches. Let's talk about them. Mark wins. I know Mark's excited about this match here. I feel like he is. But we have Brock Lesnar going against Obafemi. I'm going to take the floor here first. Brock Lesnar against Obafemi. The right decision is Obafemi needs to go over. Brock Lesnar, he's been running WWE for over 20 years, right? He's been the monster, the beast, the conqueror, but it's time for the conqueror to be conquered. And I do believe that if you really want to send a message that Obafemi is the next big deal, he needs to go over. I don't want to even hear that nonsense about, oh, well, Oba can lose here and then get a rematch. No, absolutely not. Oba needs to win this first encounter. And here's the thing. He doesn't need to even like clobber Brock where it's so one-sided. He just needs to beat this man clean. And I just think that is the right decision. Obafemi needs to get the win here. He needs to win more. And here's the thing too. Can I just say this before I give you the floor here, Rich Kings? No one's going to go up to Brock Lesnar and say, man, you're washed because you won't have any more fucking birthdays. That's why you won't even do that. So no one's going to sit here and say like, man, Brock, you're washed. Obafemi, he's going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know how many more years Brock got left in him. Brock looks in great, phenomenal shape. Totally. But Obafemi needs to go over. Rich Kings, what do you got here?
I agree. I think Oba needs to win. I think that not for legacy, not for anything, but to start a new beginning, right? It's almost like passing the torch. Like, come on, you're the next dominant thing. But I can see an angle where Brock Lesnar just wins. Like, how many losses does Brock Lesnar really have? I thought somebody was talking about that on the internet the other day. Like, how many losses does he really have, and who's he really lose to? And then you look at the people that he loses to, it's like it gotta be a big deal, right? So if Oba wins, I think that certifies Oba as like a big deal, and I think that's what he needs. So I do think Oba wins because not a lot of people beat Brock Lesnar. Let's be honest.
No.
So if you are really going to crown this person as the next person, and he is the ruler, that is his nickname, he needs to win this damn match and move on. But I do think it's going to be a great match. I do think it's going to be not one-sided or either way. I do think that Oba does take a visit to Suplex City, but I do think he pulls off the match and wins the match.
Right, and I think it should be a match where it's back and forth. It shouldn't just be one-sided. And one thing I will give credit to Brock here about is that I don't know if you saw that Raw. It was like the Raw where him and Oba first encountered each other. And Brock sold the hell like when they were doing, and also shout out to you guys in the crowd, man. The way that when Oba come out and they're going, but it doesn't feel forced. It's so natural. And I just and also too watching Oba in NXT, and he's had some really good matches, man. I think about the match. One of my favorite matches is him and Wesley, Xavier.
Yes, he is for the North American Championship.
Yes, and I still have him as one of my favorite North American champions. I want to say he's my favorite NXT champion. I want to look at my list of like what the champions, because I liked Adam Cole as champion. Adam Cole was a fucking dope ass champion, but Oba, and Finn Balor was a great champion too. And we're gonna talk about Finn Balor a little bit later. Finn Balor was a great champion too, but I think Oba, Adam Cole, Finn are in my top 5. And if you said what's the other 2, I need time to think about it. But Oba Femi, like watching him in NXT and his growth and how great he is, I just want the best for him, man. I want the best for him. So I think Oba needs to win. And I see that we got Mark. I feel like Mark is sitting there saying this is who should win here too, because he's doing He's doing the Oba got to win. I agree. Oba just has to win. I just think that. And here's the thing. I feel like a thing in wrestling, the word buried gets abused. I feel like people just say buried because, they have no knowledge of what that word means. It's embarrassing. I don't think Oba gets buried. I just think that the
mystique is off.
A little bit, not even by much, because he can be a few wins and properly booked, you'll be fine. But yeah, it does make it like you said you was gonna win. It kind of takes away. So yeah, no, I agree. We got that with Mark. We got Jeffrey said, and SummerSlam is going to be in Brock's hometown of Minnesota. Brock could be retiring there, and there's a possibility.
And that's when we call him Gunther. And that's when we call him.
Yes. Yo, I love how I'm sorry, it's the greatest thing in the world. Like, can you imagine, like, hey, you had a job for so many years, and Gunther said, "No, come on, buddy, you've been here too long. It's time to go."
Yeah.
Yes, Gunther. I'm sorry, because I'm gonna get to the next match here, but where's Mr. Cat? He is asleep. I would wake him up, but I know when I wake him up, next thing you know, it's hard for me to do the show. He moves around. I'm pretty sure you saw the story, Jeffrey, but your nephew has some hops. Your nephew, Rich Kings, I know you're not on IG, but he turned 1 last month. 1 year with me and him. I don't know what that is in cat years. This cat realized he's a cat, and you can't see how everything's set up. But right here where the computer is where the table is, and he hops. He has hops. He realized he is a cat, and he hopped. And I am proud of you, son. I am proud. This cat right here. I'm proud of you, son, and I'm proud that he's asleep because he would make it hard for me to do the show. Let's talk about this match here, One Rich Kings. Are you excited to talk about this? We have a ladder match. We have JD Madonna, Dragon Lee, Penta, Javon Evans, the greatest fraud to ever blink, Rey Mysterio, and Rusev. I'm going to give you the floor here first, One Rich Kings. What do you got going in this match?
I got the young OG would actually win this match. Listen, captures gold for the first time on a WrestleMania. I think it's gonna be great. I think they're putting some stock into him, and I think there's something that they see something bright in him eventually, right? So I do think this is the beginning of a great career for him. I I would throw up on the ship if Dragon Lee or Rey Mysterio loses. Like throw up all the liquor we've drunken and the food. Like I will be sick after that. But
Me too.
the other people, like like JD McDonough is my sleeper pick, but my number one pick would be
Javon?
yeah, like it's a ladder match. He's gonna do some spectacular things, and I don't want him to take himself out of the match by doing those crazy death-defying things and being so bouncy. But at the same time, is like when I think about the next season or the next chapter of the new year, why not give it to him and have him run into the new year with the championship?
So here's my predictions here. Can I tell you what I think is going to happen, Rich Kings? Are you ready to hear what my booking looks like?
I do. Can I just take a quick pee break? I think like 30
Oh,
seconds.
yeah, no. Do your thing. I'll take the charge here. Go ahead, do your thing. Everyone in the chat.
All right.
Go ahead, do your thing. Everyone in the chat. How does my skin look? But anyway, here's my dog pick here. I mean, not my dog pick. Here's what I think is going to happen. Rey Mysterio, he is going to wobble to the ring. He's going to wobble up the ladder. And just as he's up on the ladder, and he reaches for the Intercontinental Championship, and he's touching it, we hear Juventud Guerrera's theme! And Juventud Guerrera finished his story at WrestleMania. I think it's going to happen. Juventud Guerrera is returning at WrestleMania. He is going to push the greatest fraud that ever had two heirs off the ladder. He's going to go through 6 tables, maybe 8. I don't know. I can't keep up with numbers, but Rey Mysterio is going to go through a lot of tables. Look, through his own table, because he's going to set up a table. I'm pretty sure he's going to go through his own table. And Juventud Guerrera is going to screw Rey Mysterio, and we're going to get the match. And I know that we're going to say, I know a lot of people are saying Gunther is going to retire Hoovy. No, Gunther is going to retire. What is in this drink? Gunther is going to retire Rey Mysterio, because I don't think Gunther would do that. I think Gunther has respect for Juventud Guerrera. But what's going to happen is Juventud Guerrera is going to retire Rey Mysterio. I feel bad for you, Rey Mysterio fans. I know you guys wear the Rey Mysterio mask and have the Rey Mysterio underwears, and I feel bad for you. But Juventud Guerrera, Rich Kings, you missed it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say it again. Good. I'm glad, because I was ready to repeat it one more time. My point is Rey Mysterio is not winning this at all. No. What do you mean Gunther don't respect nobody? He has respect. It depends who it is. It was an interesting interview that I read the transcript. I didn't listen to it because I didn't even know about it. But he was talking about the great respect that he have about for AJ Styles, and he talked about how AJ Styles were like, Goldberg was WCW, right? John Cena was WWE, but AJ Styles has this whole body of work outside of WWE, from TNA, New Japan, and how a lot of people respected that. And he does have a great respect for AJ Styles. I can't say about everybody else, but I can say AJ Styles. But Juventud Guerrera, I look forward to Juventud showing up and retiring Rey Mysterio. But and you're right, storyline wise, he doesn't. I get it. But who would I got winning? I do like your pick of Javon Evans. I don't see it. I think Penta retains. I would be down for Javon Evans. But I think with Javon, here's the thing with him. He is 21 years old. I think they realize that they have time with him. If they put it on him, I would not be upset at all. I think Javon he grew on me a little bit towards the end of NXT. And I wish he kind of stayed in NXT a little bit longer, because there was a story that they could have been told. And they decided to call him up right away. And that's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, I got Penta retaining. But if Javon won, I would not be upset at that at all. I don't see Rusev. I'm glad that Rusev is at WrestleMania. JD, I think, is going to he's talented, bro. Like, he's very, very talented. I could deal without Dragon Lee and the greatest fraud to whoever to sit down Rey Mysterio. I was trying to find another term. So yeah. Thank you for all of that. Let's get into this match. I'm excited to hear your thoughts about this. Forgive me here. We have for the women's championship, we have Jade Cargill going against Rhea Ripley. Rich Kings, I'm giving you the floor here first. Who you got between Jade and Rhea?
This match is another toss-up match for me between both of these lovely ladies. I got Rhea losing to Jade Cargill. And I think the ace up her sleeve, Bianca Belair. I think Bianca Belair screws over Rhea Ripley. I mean, listen, or maybe I was thinking about Io Sky turning her, but like no, we racing like what it looks like. But I just feel like there's no way. Like I understand why Bianca's out for so long, and I maybe get her the SmackDown or the Raw after whatever. But I do feel there's a way that Jade Cargill pulls us out and beats her at WrestleMania. I just don't. I just don't see Rhea. I don't personally see Rhea Ripley winning this match for just. I can't. It's not a bigger reason. I just don't see it happening. I just think that Jade Cargill is the starter they're pushing. I do think that she's getting another WrestleMania moment here and beating another woman off on that thing. I do think Rhea loses Jade.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Jade retains. I think that a lot of people are saying about Bianca. I'm just not so sure about like what is her, not even necessarily her condition. I guess it's her recovery, right? She finally had surgery recently, and I just don't know. I don't know, but I do think Jade should go over. I think Jade should beat Rhea, and
Yeah.
I just think that's the right call. And I think that because even though I hear what you're saying about, Bianca helps out. You helps. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, I was reading something. I do think that. I guess my thing is, I'm sorry, I had to collect my thought again. I guess my thought here is you have, Jade wins, and I know they want to set up between her and Bianca. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what her recovery is, but I just feel like when she does show up, talking about Bianca, she's gonna be on the opposite side of Jade. I hear what everyone's saying about, Bianca helps out Jade. And someone even said there was a story. And when you think about the story about how Bianca last year, she was in a match with Io and Rhea. And the story was she got hurt in the match with these two, and she could probably hold a grudge. And that could happen. That you might be right on that. I've maybe there's something there. But I just don't think that they want to turn her heel. I guess that's my thought process. I just don't see it. I don't see her at the moment anyway. So, but we got Jeffrey and he comment, yeah, I got Jade retaining and the baddies beat up Io to come to our aid and Bianca returns and we have Bianca and Jade face off. Yeah, I can see some where they just look at each other and they don't touch. You got to remember, I was at the Royal Rumble when Jade debuted, and I was there, and they never touched. And even there was another Battle Royal, I'm gonna say either that year or the following year, and they never touch. So I can see where they look at each other, but they never touch, which is cool because when they eventually do touch, it's going to be a big deal. We got hot take: Jay don't need help beating up. Can I just say, when Mark wins, I was out with him for we were at a Yep I Like Wrestling SummerSlam review. He was very stunned. I have the picture right here. I let me see if I can find it real quick. I want to say I have the picture. This was from the event. I cannot find it. I am very. Someone been touching my. Oh no, right here. No, that's not it. I'm upset.
I don't think that she needs help to beat Rhea.
Oh, here's the picture. This was Mark right here. This was Lily Mark's take right here. This was Lily Mark's face when we were watching. He could not believe it. He was stunned.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. You wanted to say your thoughts. I apologize.
No. I agree with him. I don't think that she needs help to beat Rhea. I just think that while the story's playing out with all these side players, that's what we're looking at.
That sounds cool. We got That's a meme. I kid you not. I literally have a meme folder with my friends just because certain times where I'll see a picture, I'm like, and I'll like, it depends on the situation. We literally just send a picture of something like that is a meme, 100%. I'm sorry. Let's get this comment down before we get to the very next match. I'm sorry. We did that match. Let's talk about this match. I'm gonna give you the floor here first. Here, Rich Kane. We have the return of the Demon going against Dominic Mysterio. Finn Balor has officially been kicked out of the Judgment Day a few weeks ago, and he wants blood, and he's looking to take down Dominic Mysterio. Rich Kings, who you got for this match?
I got the Demon winning this match against Dominic Mysterio. I think it's gonna be a great match. I think this might be one of the great matches we see over this weekend. With both of their athleticism and just the chemistry and the history and the storytelling. I do think that they will have an amazing match, but I do think the Demon wins this match. Nothing against Dominic Mysterio. Obviously, he is good enough in the ring. He's put his own. He's a rising talent that they really revere, and a lot of fans revere him as well too. But I just don't see Finn Balor losing this match. I especially you got to protect the character, Demon at all costs. I don't think that. I don't know. We talked offline about this. Him losing to Edge was just completely worthless. That made no sense to me. But him losing against Roman Reigns in the early title reign, that meant something because Roman is a god, right? Edge is not. So at the end of the day, for me, I do think that you have to protect the Demon character because what's the purpose of leveling up your character to lose 3 times in a row? Then it's like, don't bring this character out. Just don't. So I think we have Finn Balor winning this match.
We got legend number M. He says, Demon better not get dominated. And I agree. He better not. I think that it would be it would be a terrible decision. But I fear he will. LOL. Dominic gonna lie, cheat, and steal the win. I think it would be so damaging to the Demon. When he lost to Roman, and I remember saying this recently, I was like, I didn't mind that because I didn't think Roman should have lost the championship that night.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why he lost the Edge. I remember watching that in Chicago and just being like, well, that was a weird decision. Okay. So him losing here would be like, just pack up the Demon, put him in the dresser, and never bring him out again. I like Dominic Mysterio. I think Dominic Mysterio is he's a great heel. I think he gets it. But yeah, you have to protect the Demon because they have not done that the last 2 times.
They have not.
And mind you, the first time he ever lost with the Demon paint on NXT was against Samoa Joe. And when he lost to Roman, I was like, oh, the Demon just can't. The Demon can't understand the Samoans, so that's cool. Whatever, fine. He lost to Edge, unless there's another time the Demon lost. I feel like those are the only times. Samoa Joe, Roman, and Edge. Yeah, those are the only 3 I remember. Him losing to Dominic Mysterio, he needs to bury it. But I have the Demon winning. Demon losing would just be a terrible idea.
Disaster.
Terrible.
It would be. Who's back there writing this? Road Dogg? Get him out.
You said Road Dogg? Road Dogg's not even with the company anymore. He's still getting strays.
Yeah.
We got Dominic is gonna get what he has coming to him. Legend number M. Wait, so the Demon can get, wait for it, dominated. He could. I mean, if he lost, once again, you have to bury the Demon character. You can't. He would have to go on. I feel like he would have to go on Raw and be like, "I'm never bringing that character back ever. Like, I'm never bringing that version of myself ever again. Like, ever."
It would be a disaster.
No, for sure. We got 2 more matches here. We're an hour and 38 minutes here. We thank you guys for being and joining us here. Let's talk about this match. We have the. Did you just, Mr. Cat just said. But we have for the United States Championship, we have Sami Zayn, your champion, going against Trick Williams. Whoop that Trick. And you know what? For this, I'll start it off and I'll give you the floor here, Rich Kings. It would be dope if Trick won. I'm for Trick. I think part of me want to say Trick. I don't know. I wish that they added Mello in this match. I think Mello would have been a great addition, especially with my mindset is this, right? Real quick before I give my prediction. My mindset is this. I look at Trick and Sammy. Trick is a heel. Sammy's slowly turning heel. And Carmelo could have been your baby face right there. But they decided not to do that for whatever reason. All right, whatever. Got this match. I was against the whole double turn thing. But now I'm kind of like, like I'm for it a little bit now. I think I slowly grew to that idea. My point, I think Sammy wins. I think Sammy retains the United States Championship. I think he keeps it. I would be down because, like, if Trick won it, I think that could be even more where Sammy spirals out of control and really just snaps and all that stuff and officially turn heel. But I got Sammy retaining this championship. I think Trick is going to have a good showing. Trick is a star. I love that the crowd has adapted to Trick Williams and the lemon. I kid you not, I saw Lady Poobah and she was wearing white shoes. I said, "Look at you with the lemon pepper peppers." She had no idea what I was talking about because she doesn't watch any of this stuff. And she owed me a Bret Hart movie, not a movie, watching a Bret Hart match. She's not watching this, but I want her to know we're watching a Bret Hart match. But Rich Kings, take the floor. What do you got for this match?
No, I
She's here. I didn't know she was here at all. Okay, who you got?
I agree with you. I don't understand taking Carmelo Hayes off the match. I think we're gonna Carmelo Trick if they want to have Trick go against Carmelo. I think that would have been a solid WrestleMania match. That's what I think we would have been excited to see that. We saw that last year Sand delivered, so we wanted to see it this year. Sami Zayn is slowly irritating and grinding my gears. My prediction is him losing this freaking match. I'm so sick of him. And I feel like he always has this underdog storyline. I'm just sick of it. In the beginning, I was like, you know what? He deserves to win certain matches. And now I'm just sick of it. And it started when he beat Gunther. Like, he should not be on the list of people to beat Gunther. And I was like,
oh, yeah. You talk about 2 years ago, Mania. Yeah. No, I agree.
And that's where it started for me with Sami Zayn. Like, listen, you can't beat Kevin Owens, but you could beat Gunther. Get the fuck out of here. So I just, for me, that that just turned me off for this match. I need Trick to win. I want Trick to win. Trick is my pick. He's gonna whip that Trick. And Sami Zayn turns a heel, he goes to do something else. Like, go on and pick a fight with somebody else. But I think that I personally wish it was Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. And I think that would have been a solid WrestleMania match.
I think, you know what? I love what you said there. And I think we do get there. I would love, and I would hope that they would play on their history too. I feel like they kind of mentioned a little bit about that on SmackDown, right? Like,
did they?
They kind of, okay. And I love that. I love it because sometimes they talk about NXT, but they kind of it's almost like that was a different continuity. This is a new, you get what I'm saying? Like, they kind of like, it's touch and go with that. Yeah, sometimes. I would love for Trick and Mello at some point to have some kind of encounter, and I think we do get that at some point. And yeah, no, I once again I do think NXT isn't canon. Sometimes they do acknowledge it. Sometimes they do mention the things in the history. I feel like they do. I feel like they're more consistent now than they were maybe even 6-7 years ago, I want to say. So, yeah, we got Jeffrey. He said, Jack, you got to have Flash and Trick with the gold. I would love for it. Maybe that is going to be the visual at WrestleMania. I would love it. I think Trick is great. I want that to be known. I think Trick is great. I think he's very, very talented. I don't know if this is the time for it, if they're going to do that. Maybe they do. And if they do, I'm for it. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Cat is me out. You heard him, right? Yeah. Mr. Cat, they want to see you. Come here. They want to see you, son. Come here. Say hi to the people. Say hi, Mr. Cat. He's such a good cat. Who's your pick for this match for Sami Zayn and Trick Williams? All right. He's for Trick Williams. He said, "Whoop that trick," right? Whoop that trick. He's for it. Whoop that trick. You for that? Mwah. Go ahead. Now get out here. Go follow Mama. I'm working. Let's talk about this last match here of WrestleMania. We got Senior Gato. What's that? What's this? Gato? Does that mean cat? Mark.
Kato.
Oh. Oh, I need to learn how to read. Let's move to the next match. Mr. Cat is for Trick Williams. I asked him about this match, and he is for. I'll tell you Mr. Cat's prediction for this one. But we got the main event of night 2, the main event of the weekend. CM Punk going against our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Mr. Cat, I asked his prediction as he walked off, as his set of balls, as I looked at his set of balls as he walked off. He has our tribal chief going over. I said, Mr. Cat, who do you got going over? And because he can't put one paw up like this, he did like this. This is what he did. This was his paw. This means this. Because he's a cat. So he has Roman Reigns going over. But for me, I think once CM Punk is beating Roman Reigns, I think Punk goes over. I think he beats. And the thing, too, is I don't even want to see Roman Reigns any kind of major championship at this point. He's not going to touch the body of work that he did from 2020 to 2024. I just think that was such a great time. I enjoyed that run. I know there's people who have different opinions about that. But if you're not doing that again, nah, I don't need to see it. Personally, for myself, I got CM Punk winning and retaining. And also, too, I guess you put this into play. I don't know if you do this, but for me, I think that, Roman's not going to be here a lot. He's a part-timer. What he deserved. I mean, shout out to him. I think he does. Not even I think he definitely deserved his position in the company. I'm jealous of it, if I'm being honest with you. Can you imagine showing up like every other week and then getting paid major money? Good for him. I'm jealous. But I sit here and throw at you, Rich Kings, my good buddy. Who you got winning between Roman and CM Punk?
I got Roman winning. So let me ask you this question. When's the last time CM Punk defended the title?
It was I forgot what that pay-per-view was, but against Finn Balor a few weeks back. I mean, not a few back. I'm up at the last pay-per-view.
So at Elimination Chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and before Elimination Chamber, when did he defend the championship?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a house shows, but if you're talking about on Raw, no,
Yeah.
that was a lot. That was the last time.
So if Roman wins the championship, I think that counters your argument about him being a part-timer. The belt, like, I get what you're saying. You want the championship to be there. You want a defending champion. But we really haven't seen the defending champion for that belt in a little while. Like, CM Punk has the belt, but I can't remember, like, besides Finn Balor, I was thinking about it. Who challenged for the belt? Like, who was it? Like, I'm like, they had the Braun Breaker feud or something like that, but was it LA Knight? Was it Braun? I'm scrambling to think who his matches were against for this championship. So I hear Roman is part-time. It is what it is. We can't change that. But the guy has the belt, and it's just like a trophy around his shoulder or his waist every time he comes out. He's not defending it either. So I would say, and I love everything Roman is saying. He is, the relevancy happens when Roman comes out. When he comes out, his aura is just on a different level, right? And I do think that, does he need to have the championship belt? Probably not. Does he need to beat CM Punk? I think he does. For his legacy and stuff like that. And I do think losing to CM Punk and losing back-to-back WrestleManias in that fashion that he's losing these WrestleManias wouldn't do it justice. And you now turn to a different angle and be like, well, Roman can't win without Paul Heyman on a big championship. Or Roman can't win without, the bloodline and stuff like that. So I do think that that bloodline we were just treated to such a cinema, and it was so great. But I think this is a different Roman, and I think that he needs to beat CM Punk at WrestleMania for his own personal good.
when you were talking about the counter thing and stuff like that. So I guess for me, it's Punk is here. I hear what you're saying about the title defense and stuff like that. And it's not always about, I guess for me, personally, it's not about the title defense. Look, when Roman was champion, he was barely here. It didn't bother me. I didn't hate it. I think for me, it's more of, I don't, for me, he's never going to top what was he at? What was it? 1,000 something days, right? I don't know the exact number. He's not topping that. And I think because my mother just bought this chair and he's scratching it. Don't do that. Your grandmother bought you this. But he's never going to top that. And I think that's the thing for me where I'm like, man, I don't want him to have this championship. And I also don't want them to go back to the bloodline stuff. There was a point in time, I think a lot of people felt like, with the stuff with the Usos being involved, where when they were getting involved, like, oh, we're getting a bloodline reunion. And I don't want to see that. I think the time that we had it was dope. It was great. It was fantastic. I don't even mind certain reunions every now and then. I just don't want that to be a thing, like a major thing on Raw now.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of things about that. So I just wanted to make that clear. It's not about him not being here. That never bothered me. It's that he's never going to. I just can't see him doing what Jeffrey's pointing out here: 1,300 and was that 16 days?
All right. So my
sure
argument to this would be this.
Sure, please.
Everybody has a peak or their best run. But we shouldn't hold it against. I don't want to see you win that championship again because this was better than this, right? So you can't really outbeat your best performance. So it is what it is.
I can.
Best performance. That was his best performance, and I do think that he did a great job. And I think maybe let's see what this era brings upon us. Let's see what this character does and give it a chance before we can say that this isn't going to work out either. So I will also say, I think for him. He's been relevant for 2 years without the belt. Let's see him with a different belt. Let's see what happens, and let's see what this brings to this belt. Is where I'm curious to see what's going on with this. Right? So, I think we can get different matches with this Braun and him eventually. Whether that could be him versus Oba eventually. There's certain different things that can happen with Roman Reigns, and nothing against CM Punk. I'm not saying he's old, he can't do it again, but I don't see him lasting in a match against Oba. Do you? And the Gunther match was exhausting.
Well, I think he would be fine. I mean, I think he would be fine. Because when you say, do I see him, would you say survive?
No, the wrestling, yeah. All right, so wrestling-wise, he'll be good. Do you think they'll be wrestling-wise, he'll be okay. I think good is a little bit exaggerated. I'm not too sure. Say if we got Oba versus Punk at SummerSlam, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be like, yeah, I can see Punk actually winning this match. Now, every time I get Oba versus Reigns at SummerSlam, I'm like, ooh, it could be a little bit more of a toss-up, right? Because it's different. There's different styles and there's different physiques, and I can see him keeping up. That Punk match in Gunther, when I saw that, I was like, I cringed a little bit. I was happy he won, but it wasn't a solid performance. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see him
I respect it.
I think he's a great wrestler. At the time, I think he's good. But at the same time, I just don't see him. What happens if he wins this belt? What's next for CM Punk?
I would ask you I'm sorry, and I would love to counter if you don't mind me throwing this out here. With Roman, what are the possibilities you got for Roman as champion?
You could get a Seth match because I think they haven't really finished the score. Bro, you went on into the bloodline, you screwed me over. You think it's over yet? That could be a brawl. Maybe Braun Breaker. They still they still have some issues with division, so that has not been fully settled. You'll probably get an LA Knight match finally get into the main event picture. There's so many different angles you could take with Roman if he is available at certain events and et cetera, right? And obviously with ESPN, when is the next big pay-per-view ESPN? You have to wait till SummerSlam for that? So
it's back. Oh, you're talking about the next one after Mania?
For ESPN.
For WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say Jeffrey put Backlash.
All right. So if he's on Backlash, there's certain things where they want to show their stars a little bit more and more and more. So, I mean, we're going to see. But what I would say is that I do think Roman does win the match.
All right, and this is our third annual WrestleMania prediction. So I look forward to us doing it again next year, bud.
Yes.
Technical difficulties happen. Not Rich King. Rich King is right here, but Jean Baptiste things happen. We hope that he is all right, and we will see him tomorrow. And
Yes.
look, at the end of the day, I know a lot of people are not excited about the build about it, but I hope that you guys do find some kind of entertainment at WrestleMania. Ooh, okay. Okay, where you going? All right. He's about to do the jump. You can't see it, but he just did the jump from here to the thing. It's amazing. I'm proud of my boy. I'm proud of you, son.
He's doing it.
Fallen,
Bigger and better things.
bigger and better thing. I am proud of my four-legged son. Good job, son. Jack and Cat game forever and ever. But stop meowing. I'm on. Can you hear him meowing from here?
Yeah. I guess he thought his
Jesus.
jump was unsuccessful.
Yeah. It was very successful. It was a good jump. It was a good leap. It was a leap of faith. Hallelujah. But I think the only way, though, I'll end it with this. The only way Roman can beat CM Punk in this match if he hit the Raging Demon, because that man is a coomer. I don't know if you saw the Street Fighter trailer. I am sold on that movie. I just want to say that.
Okay.
I am sold on that movie. He has to hit a Raging Demon. If he doesn't do that, I will immediately turn off WrestleMania. And that's the show. We hope that you enjoyed this. This is our third annual. We'll be back next year for the fourth annual WrestleMania prediction show. We'll be back. We're going to look at what May looks like. We're going to be doing some more retrospects. I mean, that has been such a fun thing doing with you and Mark Wins. Jean Baptiste joined us for WrestleMania 30. So, I hope that you guys watch those back, and we're going to figure out what's going on for May and what pay-per-view we're going to review. I feel like I'm going to pick a WCW thing. I got to see. I'm interested in what you pick, Rich Kings. I feel like Mark's going to go with TNA, and I'm totally down for a TNA review, because especially with you, because I know that you wasn't big on TNA when it was really big in the mid 2000s, but when you watch that pay-per-view, what did we do? Final Justice? Not Final Justice. I forgot what it was.
Final Resolution. And
Final Resolution
that year.
There were. Like, I was confused. I remember I was looking at the results just so I can have the results, and I was like, is that the one I watched? 2008. I watched it. I was so confused. But we're gonna have some more reviews about that. That's what we're gonna utilize the YouTube channel for, and also live streams for prediction and after shows stuff. So please hit that like, subscribe for notification. We want to make this channel grow and make it be a big thing, and we can't do it without your help. Rich Kings, I thank you for this. I salute you, and I know I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm going to give you a big old hug because I miss you, brother. Brother, where can people find you if you want to be found, sir?
Yeah, right here on the Big Pop Theory podcast. Some stuff coming soon, so stay tuned.
I love that for you, man. You have been nothing but fantastic on this show. We call you the QB of the Big Pop Theory podcast, so salute to you, Mark Wins. I know you wasn't here live, but cheers to you, sir. And I hope that you do watch Mania, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts about things, all things WrestleMania. And we're going to give a salute to also Jean Baptiste, and we hope to see him for the next whatever that we decide to do. For the Big Pop Theory podcast, we have an Instagram at the Big Pop Theory podcast. We also have a YouTube, the Big Pop Theory podcast _23. He hops from the window now. This cat, he's full-fledged cat. Like, now he's jumping, he's meowing, he's scratching the chair your grandmother bought you. Me. This was for me. He's very upsetting, but I'm going to miss him for these next few days. I'm shedding a tear here.
I know the missus will take care of him.
She will. Lady Pooh is going to take care of Cat Pooh. I don't think that works, so we won't do that. But she's going to take care of Mr. Cat, and I'm probably going to put nothing a bunch of cat pictures in my stories because I'm going to miss. Don't tell me what to do. I know, like Jeffrey is the uncle from afar, and he says don't yell at him. Like I feel like so. Yes, shout out to Lady Poobah. She is fantastic. She owes me a Bret Hart match. Anyway, this is a Big Pop 30 podcast. We're going to end it here. We're not going to do any audio this weekend because I will be away. I don't believe we're going to do anything the following week, but continue to follow everything that's the Big Pop 30 podcast. You can follow me here. My socials is Big Bad Guy _Jack. And I do stuff on Popular Review. I did a show earlier. We reviewed Invincible and The Boys. And yesterday I did Daredevil. And Tuesday I did NXT. So I was working. I was on a Bad Guy tour, but this is the last show of the week for me. So we will see you guys for the following. Let's put this graphic up and say goodbye. Oh, God. And Mr. Cat is walking on the dresser. Now we're going to put this graphic up. Thank you for tuning in. We had 2 hours. We appreciate you guys. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification. Tell us what your picks are for WrestleMania. What match are you excited for WrestleMania? And we'll see you for the next live stream for predictions or after show review or a review for retrospects. Take care, guys. Enjoy WrestleMania.